Why dogs go crazy in the evening. It's so typical and still one of the most misunderstood topics in the dog community. Today I'm gonna introduce you to Max, a little pug, who always went crazy in the evenings, and how we resolved the issue. So stay tuned and have fun with this episode of A Dog Soul and Empath's Guide to Your Dog's Feelings. Alright, so Max was a 6-month-old pug, so in his teen phase, right? And even as a puppy, his owners experienced crazy 5 minutes in the evening, right? Like when there are zoomies and the dog is running around like crazy and biting into everything and chewing on anything, really. And they asked their pug group on Facebook for help, but a lot of people said, well, this is normal. So they didn't make much out of it. But as Max grew older and became a teenager, those phases never stopped, and the people in the pug group said that it's a puppy thing, and it was becoming more and more exhausting for his parents because he started doing the zoomies on walks as well. He started barking at home. He started biting them when he was in his crazy 5 minutes in the evening, and he was unstoppable. He was just going crazy, right? It was like there was a flip that got switched and he became a complete lunatic. So at first they tried to resolve it with obedience. They tried to send him to his crate and stay in there and just be quiet, which didn't work because he would either not stay in there or he would first try to chew himself out when the door was closed, or he would just bark with no end. So he would just bark and bark and bark, and the neighbors were already complaining, so this was really no solution. They tried to let him bark it out, but it wasn't possible. Also, this is not really nice for the dog, right? Because when they get this crazy and they feel the need to just run it off and they start barking out of that feeling, it's not comfortable. And it's not like they are just frustrated or they are just not happy with the method the humans chose or anything. They're just feeling really uncomfortable. So this is why we have to help them. And even though a pug is not a big dog, right? And they can't do that much damage when they bite. And of course, it's not like they are biting uncontrollably when they get the zoomies and when they get their crazy 5 minutes in the evening. But it's uncomfortable, right? And you always have to watch out for a speeding dog and be careful not to trip over him, and also constantly worrying about the dog destroying the furniture or chewing on the furniture or chewing on things like the remote control and all those stuff. It's bothering, and it's bothering for the dog as well. So Max was doing that because he was stressed out. And this is the actual reason for crazy 5 minutes in the evening and zoomies. Zoomies are not really fun for the dog. They are a coping mechanism. They are a way to release stress and to get the stress level down. So this is actually a red flag for us. It tells us that there is something that is keeping the stress level too high for the dog. And that's when they zoom out. So even though zoomies look really funny for us, right? We have to keep in mind that this is not a comfortable state the dogs are in. They need more relaxation, they need more calmness, and they need a lower stress level in their day-to-day life. There's nothing wrong with excitement, right? So a peak in the stress level once in a while. That's actually natural, that's normal, and that's something we kind of accidentally or on purpose make happen with any kind of play, with exciting works, with just having fun together. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's getting concerning when it's getting too much. And that's when we see things like this. So, what Max needed was peace and quiet. So, we got rid of the crate because he didn't want to go in there anyway, and it was kind of poisoned because he was locked in there too often. So, he connected the crate with negative emotions, and this is something that happens often, and I am absolutely against closing crates, and this is one reason for that. But for him, it would have taken a lot longer to make the crate positive again than it took us for just switching to a regular dog bed and introducing that as a new relaxation zone. And it's really, introducing a relaxation zone happens just almost subconsciously. It's not really much to do. You just take a food toy and put it in there, or you sit next to it when there's snuggle time with your dog, whenever that is. So this bed gets connected with all the relaxing things. There is really not much magic about it. It's just connecting it. Like we connect a marker signal with positive emotions, we can connect a specific area with relaxation. And for Max's parents, it was also a nice way of really calming themselves down. Because in our consultation and digging deep on why Max is acting that way, they realized that their day-to-day life is a little bit exhausting as well. They felt like they are running up and down the house all day long, and they have all those things to do and all those chores, and it was becoming a little bit much for them as well. So they also got a little tense, their stress level was too high. That made them get annoyed by Max even faster, that made Max's stress level rise again. And you see the cycle, right? So they took this as an opportunity to really spend a little bit more time on resting and relaxing with Max in the new relaxation zone, and it was a nice new routine for them as well. What we also did was we took some of the walks they usually did with Max and switched to a place where not that many exciting things happened. Like Max was really interested in the pee spots of the female dogs in his neighborhood, especially when the season came when most of them got into heat. So this was stressing him out as well, and on top of everything else. So they took him to areas where there wasn't that many dogs around, there wasn't that many dogs walked, and that made Max's walks a lot more relaxed as well. And some of the walks in the neighborhood were shortened as well. So all of that contributed to getting the stress level down. And what also helped Max was that we switched the walks to cooler times of the day. Because as a pug, Max had trouble breathing. And this is true for pugs. For every short-snouted dog, we need to be a little bit more concerned about the breathing. They don't breathe like normal dogs, and it's not funny that they snore. They snore because they can't get enough air in. So we have to help them in day-to-day life, and that means walking at cooler times of the day or in cooler areas where there is a lot of shade or water or whatever. So this was also something that helped him get his stress level down. And this is the most difficult thing for his parents, they had always learned that a pug is stubborn and therefore needs a very strict and very straightforward way of training and of handling him. And so they were not rough with him, but also not very gentle. And they switched to a more gentle approach and a more consensual approach when it came to handling him. So drying his paws after walk or cleaning his folds in his face, right? All the things that just have to be done with a dog. Just regular housekeeping chores, right? Regular caregiving chores. And they switched to cooperative care. So Max learned to hold a cooperation signal, and as long as he was holding it, his parents were fine to do stuff on him. And whenever he broke the signal, it was his way of saying, please stop, I need a break. And that way, all those things became less stressful for him, which again contributed to a lower stress level overall. So with all those things, they already got a lot more peace and quiet into their day-to-day lives, and Max pretty much stopped with the craziness in the evening. But to be sure, we also increased his exercise, but not in a physical way. Instead, we did a lot more nose work, scent work, search games, all the natural things, because those also get the stress level down. They make the dogs happy and tired and all of that in a more natural way, right? So this was the last step, and Max became a lot more tranquil. He became a lot more calm at home and outside on walks. He was listening a lot more, also both outside and at home. And the craziness in the evening really stopped. So if you see your dog acting out in some kind of way, always ask yourself if there is something that's bothering your dog. Why is this happening? Our dogs are not doing these things to annoy us or to anger us or to try to be dominant or whatever. All those things are not the way dogs think. It's just not. They do these things either because they are rewarding, so they fulfill any kind of need the dogs have, or they do this because they have no other way of coping with the situation they are actually uncomfortable in. So we have to help them get more comfortable, get more safe, and get more relaxed in day-to-day life. And in all the situations, we see them acting out. And if you don't have one already, introduce a relaxation zone to your dog today. It's a real game changer. It's something that helps for a lot of situations, and it always gives the dog a reminder of relaxation, calmness, and just positive emotions. I hope you find this episode helpful, and if so, please don't forget to like and subscribe or rate and review, depending on where you're watching, and we'll see each other next time. Bye!